Hello, good morning. We are back again on another edition of your morning program. This morning, I am Ibrahim Balde. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you are. And of course, I'm with Julde Njai. Julde, good morning.
Good morning, Ibrahim. Good morning to our viewers and good morning to Mr. Mboj. It's good to be back.
Mr. Mboj, how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
How is it going?
Um, how is what going? I don't know.
Everything.
Last night, went home to watch Paraguay, Germany. There was no light.
Okay.
I'm still squeezing the knife.
I thought they've said it has improved now.
Not in our area. Well, not in our area. We still have sort of long hours of darkness. I got home around 8:30 or so. Until I went to bed around 11 or so, there was none. So you still have sort of longish hours of darkness. So yeah, that was a bit of a dampener. So as you can see, I woke up
not feeling active.
Yeah. I'm a bit lethargic today.
You are feeling a bit lazy. Yeah. So, I mean, on the program, we'll do the African code, then the newspaper review. From the review, then we'll be talking to Honorable Dr. Satang Nabane, Global Human Rights Scholar, on inaugural justice and legal immersion fellowship cohort. And of course, we'll also be talking to Umukutum Dabo. That's an Arabic name. Huh? Yeah, so 2026 World Cup update, Mr. Adedrame would be here with us on the program. A person who carries a basket of eggs does not start a fight. That's the African code for today. A person who carries a basket of eggs does not start a fight. Yeah, so Mr. Mumudu Mboj, I'll allow you to look at that. It's somehow telling me a person who lives in a glass house shouldn't throw stones or shouldn't start a stone fight. You know?
Yeah, so here what, the glass house is the basket of eggs. It's precious, yes. When you start a fight, you lose it. Absolutely. Choose your battles wisely, depending on what you have to lose, isn't it? It's a simple cost and benefits analysis, isn't it? With the cost of fighting be greater than the benefit of winning, I suppose.
Yeah, so Julia, what do you think?
Yeah, choosing your battles wisely, like Mr. Mboj mentioned. Sometimes you pick up a fight with someone not knowing that you will be the one to lose, you know. And I think it's important to choose your fights. Choose the battles that you're going to fight. It's very important in life because you might not know. You can start something, but the end result and the impact will end up with you. You will feel it more. So I think it's very, very important for us to be vigilant, for us to be mindful of whatever we're doing. Because whatever you do, whether you know it or not, it has a long way towards coming back to you in one way or the other. So especially with dealing with people, choose it wisely. When you're going to tarnish the image of someone, just have it at the back of your mind that it will come back to you, you know, one day. Because the truth has a way of, you know, coming out, you know, whether we know it or not. So yes, be cautious, be careful with the battles you choose. It's not every battle that is worth fighting. Sometimes you're better off just letting it go, let it slide, and then, you know, have your peace of mind and fight in every battle.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot fight every battle.
Right.
I mean, no man is an island. No man can do all those things. There are times that, you know, you just have to be silent and allow, you know, the justice to serve its, way. At the end of the time, the truth will be known and everything will be revealed.
Right.
The truth shall always prevail. And that's what I think. It might take long time
Yes.
for it to manifest itself. but they will definitely realize one day, Mr. Mboj, mo ndekete, mo mbejon Balde, mota Balde react, you know, so all those things will come. Because let's try to put it in our societal context. Gis nga, there are people that, you know, they are very cunning people. Xam nga. Tey, Mr. Mboj, dang ma tooñ. Why duñ gis tooñ bi de? Man suma reaction la ñoo gis. Because man dama am a way numa de react to certain problems. So da nga gis society man la ñoo point out. Sa waji moo jóg mu saaga ko. Understand nga? Because loolu lañ gis. Waaye Mr. Mboj fekka lu moo def si suuf. Loolu noonu ñoom gisuñ ko. There are people that are very cunning. Moo tax dañu war a try to analyze situations. Because there are people that, you know, dañ leen suppress. You put them aside. You fuck ni ñooñu they are problematic. Fekka
duñ def rek moo nekk issue bi fekka the main issue the main problem troublemakers ñooñu
waaw man I hate that dama day gis loolu si place yi liggéeyukaay yi you know dama day gis loolu si society yi dama day gis loolu even si diggante family yi you know te loolu affaire yi naafeexa bu mag la te war nañ ko moytu bu baax
wax nga foofu lu bari
waaw
the truth will always come out. I don't know. I'm not sure if the truth always comes out. It sounds a bit idealistic.
It comes out, the Mr.
It's not a bad thing to have. No, Mandalfi is just about self-control, maturity, in situations, even leadership, composure. Will develop damage.
Yeah.
So the situation, try to manage it.
Yeah.
Will allow situation be managed. Stuff
Exactly.
like that. And this can be anything. It can be applied across single lives, or aspects of our lives. Be it family, education, health. These things are precious. Your basket of eggs, that's precious.
Right.
Absolutely. So, will them engage till hamne do not damage this precious thing.
Exactly.
It could be anything, your health, your even peace of mind, for God's sake. So you find yourselves in certain encounters. You stand to lose more.
You're right.
To win, stuff like that.
You mentioned something important, self-control. I think a lot of times, a lot of us, you'll find that very difficult to control ourselves. We're clouded by emotions and then doing this, you know, things at a brighter picture or a bigger picture. We are always consumed by anger, hatred, and all of that. This will take me to what we were talking about this morning, the issue of the frequent stabbing incidents that we are seeing recently. Man wahnane man kena rek, what I know of the cases, I think I know of 5 incidents that occurred this month alone. So lolo danga holne li yep yifi self-awareness la. You know, allow just little altercation or little, you know, misunderstanding, right? You're consumed with anger and hatred, and all you can do is to resort to violence. You know, at the end of the day, before you know it, action has been done. You're danga stop nitki, balanga ham the next second you nela dena, and then you danga regret because then danga reflect, oh my God, what have I done? Feka, it's too late. So I think it's very important. There is a word we might like to talk about in our psychology class, more like a cognitive dissonance. I think it's affecting a lot of young people in society. Right. No, it's serious. Young people are conflicted between their beliefs, their actions, their emotions. They are conflicted every day. And I think that is a serious conversation that people should be having.
Absolutely. So, and yeah, I'm listening in the public space now. Just as you said, due to disagreement, can down a jelly weapon.
Yeah.
That is happening increasingly.
Yeah.
And then, say weapon, what do? You use it. As you said, regret. You've crossed the Rubicon. There's no going back.
All that stabbing incident what happened Fajikunda. See Holby last week. An 18-year-old boy, Kurei, boy who am 32 years. You know, Sibir living near a gang fight, Sibir Holby program now. Mujel Parker program, Sigana Lako Jam. You know, Mude, and the boy is just 18. Hamga, Tiene Inko Yobun Inko mile 2. Understand? Koku, Mungimen life and Bilegi Yahuna. Koku do Lumwara Dunda. you know mu ngi mel ni léegi loolu yëpp mile two la ko def moo tax dañ war a xalaataat bu baax.
It's important.
Anger nag it's crazy to handle anger. Sometimes foo meree daf dee métti pour nga mun a ne muñ na bàyyi na loolu moo nekk problème ñu bëri you understand waaye dafa am situations yoo xam ne dañ la dee trigger ñu laa trigger pour nga mun a nga mer you know nga def yeneen waaye bu nekkee ne mun nga control sa boppa loolu moo doon gën.
It's important there because xam naa ne depression cases are high, you know, on the high side in the country, but I'm not an expert or duma muna because there is no studies that has been conducted to attribute that high number to, you know, the violence that is happening currently. But for nane dafa jar pour ñu sétar ko, you know, as a country. That time depression bila mo tahit ñi they are behaving like the way people are behaving, or what is the issue, like what is really happening. But I think as a people, as a society, it's important for us to examine this, the root causes of this. Time bobu nono sax te kana mi sambo ñu doon wax ne su déggee murder case bala mu ko déggaat ay at la moo nekka.
Time indo wax dëgg yàlla nag
exactly.
Su déggee ne kii rey ni kii for years. The other day I was trying to recall Nyata cases like Muna Halat. You know, if you put aside 1981, very few, I don't know, 3, 4, over a decade.
Exactly.
So it was certainly not rampant. The frequency.
See, dafa bari. Te soo waxee ñu ne la ne min na am léegi media houses yi dañ bari and all of that dégg la media houses yi dañ bari waaye xam nañ ne dëkk bi dafa ndaw even time boobu no media xamul waaye word of mouth danga de hey dégg nga lu xew base fii we are all the same, we are all one, we are all connected in one way or the other, whether it's reported in media or not. Before you know it fekk keneen ki xam na ko. Murder case bu happened yesterday, stabbing incident but happened. Is it Latrikunda Jam? I just had it this morning and it's not on the news.
Very, very sad.
So I think really we have to examine this.
Menacing headlines. We'll deal with, was it the courts? Rising knife violence,
exactly.
like that. And that is a factor. How do we deal with that? I do not know. It's a very difficult
it should be there, but I think we need to examine it, whether it's the issue of drugs that may are contributing factor, you know, whether it's the issue of unemployment, whether it's the issue of the economic impact. Whatever it is, we need to sit as a country to examine the root causes of this frequent violence and stabbing incidents that is happening. Imagine, don't wanna leave. So just yesterday, I'm this conversation. You know, I was like with my husband, I was like, suma phone bin sacha noon. I was like, okay, there is a line that is there and all of that. Why so trace? And now my fear is that so trace you have okay, phone we keep more that duma attacks in Mustama or whatever. Because we've seen things like that happening. So people are so scared that okay, whether manluma mom sa suma ko jelate and that duñ ma sigay wala duñ ma sire. It's serious.
Hamga, when you talk about these things, there are people, even on this program, no, don't make Gambia look like that. This is one of Nyata Life report. Time bully social media amuton why mungdon hell. How fine? Why it's happening?
One of the why happen more
the argument is this, with social media it tends to amplify stories. So I'm the impression perhaps widespread, all over the place. True. Whereas not necessarily so. So let's keep a balance here. But yes, just as I said, the next story, newspaper roundup.
I think we are already in the newspaper review.
Was it the police or court? But female worry about rising knife attacks. So that clearly tells you something. I'm not in your guess.
Yeah. Court vows full force of law over surging knife violence.
That's it, over surging knife violence. This is really what we're talking about.
Right.
So, we are making it up. There you've got the court saying it.
Demba, Justice Jaite, I'm on killing what happened on around, is it Brufut? I'm not very sure. Well, I guess in a sentence now. The guy who killed, the lady.
To life in prison.
To death. Death level. waaw loolu nag mooy problème bi comme ne noo wax soo xam nga nit ñi mun nañoo am option fii su ma fi defee lu mel nii sax life in jail rek laay dem kenn du ma rek
people I don't think people do that I don't think so dara dafa xew nga mer allow that emotion that toxic really emotion take over nga jam perhaps nga pare sa regret you know what I mean I don't think they sit and calculate when I do this I'm not sure whether that really happens so this is it if you short fuse ku nekk ngi am short fuse mel ni ki ñu ngi am this undercurrent of resentment the slightest opportunity rek nga bëgg ko génne to somebody else so that is an issue it's a social one how do we deal with it I don't know dañ daan wax ne da ngaa yar da ngaa def lii there are ways of nga try to control yourself we all have emotions of anger jealousy and all the rest of it waaye dañ la daan wax ne suñ laa train suñ laa yar your feelings sa nga emotions and feelings sa nga dañ ko dee foog ne dafa benn la du benn emotions are natural my feelings my what I think how the mental process about these emotions both of us can feel jealousy waaye yow ni nga reacté man ni ma reacté du benn suñ xalaat about it dafa uti so it helps with thinking nga muy xalaat keep a check on your emotions
yow foog nga ne lan lañu war a def
I do not know strict enforcement ban soo carré knife rek sax am na yenn façon knife it should be a crime pour nit di ko carré ci yeneen dëkk yëpp yoolu la you go to England am na yenn façon paaka that in itself crime
non paaka sax nekkul am na yenn façon but paaka bu mag bu ndaw yëpp paaka la
non am na yenn xam nga am na ndaw suma pen knife fi ñu daan ooyee pen knife yow gis nga fii suñ bëggee ubbi poti meew o ma bëgg a xooli something mangoro so am na yu ndaw so that's it am na yu yenn yu ponkal nag
Rambo knives
if you that's we used to call them in the West nga carry ko it's a crime you'll be arrested for carrying that
Visa is a crime you're not you're not allowed to
xam nga dañ leen security bi dañ war a try dañ war a def waaye security bi they are doing their best
they can't be everywhere
duñ mun a nekk fu nekk
at this all the time
man I can attest to that mus naa tasee ak security te fu ma tasee gars yi fu ruuxe la it was really dafa guddi woon sax dama yóbbu woon gan léegi may deelu gars gis ma ñu paak suma moto bi understand xamee nañ ma de waaye nag def search my car ubbi nañ suma but bi ubbi yëpp ci ca ron toogu bi seet ndax awma anything loo xam ne is illegal or dafa cause harm to society understand waaye loolu was really good pour ñu def ko suñ ma ko defee mais bi suñ ko defee keneen ak keneen dinañ mun a jël ay yenn gaanaay yoo xam ne am na ñoo xam ne ay machette lañ de doxee seen moto yi you know
yaa ngi ma wax ne stabbing boobu ci dance hall la
waaw
xale bu ndaw
18 years
nga fu mu waree xew doo mun a xam fine li ñoo stop moto yi loo nay di chances ne Balde mu ngi amee gaanaay am na ku moo jëli ñoom tam xam nga police dañu leen wax ne am na naka la gars yi de targeté doo mun a search everybody all the time so they have their own means of naka nga targeté xam nga am na noonu lu gars de searché daal so that would help I hope it may help in some ways why there's a really social issue here am na nu ñu war a waxtaan ñu ni neen su fekkee ne police yi lañ yaakaar police stop it cannot stop because munuñ ko xam nga nit ñi fuñ jaar ñu believe in the laws pour application easy
plus waajur yi tamit seen yarin bi ñu yar suñ doom yi let's have a serious conversation. Exactly. Let's have a serious conversation with our kids, our children. Doo toog rek nga jur nit ki rek nga bàyyi ko noonu society yar ko. Nga gis sa doom bi mu ngi mandi ñëw di lii di def lu ne nga ko in fact yow yaa ko xaabo sa yow yaa ko dencal bagaasam yi. You're causing more harm than good to your child at the end of the day. Because kooku sus demee si biti mu stab nit mu dee dinañ ko tëj yow ñaaka nga di. ñaaka nga sa doom bi ñaaka na so come on ñeneen ni du bugga sa doom when you see things are not going right xamal ne te comme noo ko waxee time boobu noonu doomi julde doomi ñëpp lañ da ngaa gis sax génna sa doom mu ngi def leneen sa keneen mu jël ko mu dóor ko wala mu correct ko wala andara du si génna waaye léegi loo ñeme ngaa yar doomi jàmbur ñemewuloo koo yar di so that's the thing it's really getting out of hand
waaye bu nekkee mag yi dañ wala kana nag mag yi yarawuñ
that's what I'm saying yow soo yarutee naka nga yaree
mag yu
sa doom
yabaate lañ am léegi si dëgg bi fii mag
yow soo yarutee naka nga yaree sa doom
koo xam ne nga oo nga ne ko ne man ku laal suma doom fii suma la téye oo nga dem demal ba kenn laal la te xam nga ne mag soo gisee nga téye doomi jàmbur nga jubanteel ko xamal ne dafa def loo xam ne óorut understand man gis naa xale yoo xam ne ñu ngi eeg si kaw mango si kaw cat bi Mr Mboja xale baa ngi eeg si jur bi ba cat bi mu ngi def nii kooku su fa daanoo ida dafa dama boppam bi toj oo mu dee understand waaye kooku su ma ko wàccee woon tey ma ñëf ko soo yutut parents am ñu yóbbu ma police waaye bu nekkoon ne daanu na foofu mu dee man ma ñëw ma ne gaane gis naa ko mu ngi eeg si kaw mango bi de dañoo ne waaye da nga ko waroon a ne mu wàcca
So you're not sure about the rules anymore.
Yeah.
Of public.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe Banjul was small. So mun nga jógee Saja Town, li ñu wax Saja Town, nga dem Afdaay, nga misbehave mag ñëw génne, I don't know, you can't do this. Fekk maybe sa xam na sa parents. So communities were more organic. Legi that organicity.
No, I'm scared of the future.
That's exactly.
I'm scared.
And you
should.
should.
Talk si bena babin salon. You get waxtaan de.
And you should.
Dañoo am conversation ni. Maa ngi watu. Xale yoo xam ne they are not even 16. 17 ñu ngi dem junior school I can tell you. Suma ay moromi doom moromi yaaya nii. Xale yaa ngi toog di wax affaire yi ay jigéen. Comme luñ def comme lu ma def xale bi bu ma fa toogee 1 hour kii mu ngi maa baab booy ba maa baab waaye luñ doon wax yëpp mooy xale bi dama ko yóbbu suma néeg def ko lii ak lii yow yaa ngi nekkaa kii amuloo fitam yooyu lañ doon waxtaan education dara lañ ci lifin xale yoo xam ne ñoom ñooy future bi ñuy waxtaan ñu affaire yi jigéen rek lañ doon waxtaan jigéen
nga am xale yoo xam ne ñu ngi war a dem school nga bàyyi leen ñu ngi nekk apprentice si yoon bi nga bàyyi xale yoo xam ne ñu ngi war a dem school instead of school nga bàyyi leen ñu ngi beg si street bi and we normalize that as a society what do you expect xale boobu noonu amut skill amut education at the end of the day su magee mu ngi am ay needs mu ngi am ay soxla obviously ida mu dem sàcca wala mu resort to violence so it's a problem comme noo ko waxee regulatory frameworks yi dañ ko war a enforce and how do we enforce it we have to start from the grassroots bi moo nekk catch them young these young people let them send them to school educate them xam nga enroll them in skills trainings and all of that ñu mun a nekk responsible people in society waaye soo leen bàyyi xale yu ndaw yi nii ñu ngi mag we normalized it da ngaa gis xale boo xam ne xale bu ndaw last week maa ngi duga moto di dem sa Bokoto benn xale bu ndaw déedéet moo doon lii drive mu jël moto bi li vu ma ne ko xam nga lan la mu ñu yab bu ñu fontoo tegal moto bi mu ne ma hey anti hey bu mu waxama ma ne ko ne soo ma fi saagi su ma la ñëfee xam nga it's crazy ma gis drive ma ne ko ne you are allowing this kid xale bu ndaw di ñu li yow lii seet na kii dafa am driving skills wala lii license or whatsoever we normalize it as a society we normalize some of these things that should not be normal.
It's crazy. I have fun.
Wow.
The youth explosion, people have been writing about this for a long time. Africa, this is strange in many ways.
It is.
Some 65, 70% of your population, the neck are what, under 30, something like that. So, the two prospects we face. The youth dividend. Ngi bare liggéey gaa ngi liggéey dinañ am lu innovative they'll be doing stuff da nga am that bit waaye tamit na nga am the ticking time bomb all these kids you leen di absorb education, are you preparing for them? And we all know Africa's in governance, in terrible governance. In, the education, in para employment, dina am xale yu bare yoo xam ne social crime dina egg. Let us be prepared for that. A petty theft, all sorts of things dina egg. So these two prospects, it's not one or the other. We're going to have both. You will have the dividend, these young people innovating, doing stuff, while I'm an underclass, crime.
I'm advising every parent.
I'm an underclass,
family,
crime.
You
protect yourself.
Lu gaay di def fu ñoo dem nga yar leen yaral sa doom yi yaral sa xale yi you know because doo mun a yar society bi yëpp man su ma yaree julde mu yar yow nga yar dañoo am society bu yaru
wala ñu andi luwa boo xam ne soo juree doom te mënuloo ko tekkee ñu leel ko sa loxo wala sax ba nga am what it means or what it takes.
In the West Mom they do that.
Exactly.
Moomuloo xale bi.
doo mun a jur ay doom rek di ko tegaleen te bàyyi ko for society just like that.
Moomuloo xale bi. So am na certain ways no ko treated. The state will take the kid from
exactly.
mu ne la naxari la. No ñun we don't have that.
No loolu suñ ko amee da ngaa gis ñu dóor seen parents yi fii. Da ngaa gis xale yu dóor seen parents yi. Because I know man so ma lifine rek state bi daf ma ñëw jël. So let's move on. We have another.
So on the Standard newspaper, leader of Gambian passport fraud gang gets longer jail time. Gis naa ñu bari de.
For being leader.
Wow.
Leader of Gambia passport fraud. Gang gets
longer
jail time. Wow, Lola, we need to set examples. All this fraud, all this scamming, we need to set brighter examples. Money, am na dëkk yoo xam ne suñ la téye fraud dañ la dee teg stiff penalty boo xam ne yow sa soo si génnee di nga xam ne digga lii lu ma def nii jarut ko ok waaye bu nekkee ne def nañ fraud def nañ scamming ñu ne leen fay leen 5000 ngeen génn ëllëg damaa def lu garaaw lu ëpp loolu ma xam ne 5000 rek moo ma si génne so I think that's a good move from Mr. Mbodj.
Yeah, obviously. Why you move on, fine, you get punished, they've been caught and that sort of thing. But what happened? How looking at TJ Bunta you ubi one by guy what really happened? Bring a strength in, I don't know, your defense, make it difficult for people to do this sort of thing, I suppose. But yes, jail term, fine. Bang them up.
Muneland, is it progress, not promises? Progress,
not promises.
Why, Dr. Aissatou Touré, 14 people are.
Don't go there. What is the matter with
you? Meeting with 14 people, you attend. Is that true?
It might very well be. Why, Tamit, be careful. Lolu minute ne. That's it. Mun na ñoo dem ba ci kanam mu amaat beneen mu am 50. Ñu dem ba ci kanam mu amaat beneen mu am 1000. So be careful. Am na movement su mag yu garaaw. They started out very small.
Comme Essa Fall.
See,
Essa started very small. And man, Essa was more surprised. I wasn't even expecting Essa will go to this level. And you know, if you are underestimating Fall, you get a big mistake, big time. Because Essa mind politics la nekk di play. Look, maak yow juboo wuñ fine. Gis naa sax ñoo xam ne attaque nañ ko ñu ne ko ne yow loo def Yaya Jammeh si commission bi loo wax Jammeh ak noo doon behavior si Jammeh waaye su toogee mu waxtaan ak yow da nga understand. Gis naa ko dem mu ne ko ne man Jammeh laa de. You know why Essa was able to convince that individual. So politicam is crazy. Moo tax jàng about.
The thing is, it was not a witch hunt. He was paid to deliver a service, which he did diligently. Parena si. Parena. You go hire. It's the government that hired him to do the job. And he did it.
Absolutely.
Te gis nañ ne def na liggéey bu rafet mashallah. Ñu ku nekk nag upload na ko for the good work that he has done. Life after TRRC nag lum def, that is his own thing.
Sure.
He's entitled to it. He's a citizen. Absolutely. He has the right to be elected, to vote, and to be voted for. So moo tax man nit ñi if they are mixing these two things dama dee xaw a confused like it has no connection. Kii dañ ko hire to do a service which he has done.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, yow doo ko blame for bringing to light what the things, some of the atrocities that happen.
Understanding. Xam nga ñu bëri understand ñu bëri suñ gisee Essa Faal lañ dee foog ne it's all about him. Faate nañ ne kii dañ ko yóoni pour mu def liggéey bi. Liggéeyam la moo def. So this is how we think as a society. Am na ñoo xam ne you have to go down pour nga mun leen a explainal ñu mun a understand. People like ñun suñ gisee Essa muy def liggéey bi xam nañ ne Essa doesn't have any grievance for Jammeh. No, amut ko. Maybe sum ko amal, maybe comme moom citizen la. Am na yeneen aha yoo xam ne moom tam war na si mun a wax as a citizen. Waaye comme
ne la amul dara pour la fa Jammeh in this sense.
Exactly.
You claim that you can support or whatever. Man nit ñëw ne ma mu ne ma Mr. Mbodj yow bul dem foo ñi de. Ma ne ko waaye daal ñu ne ma ñëpp xam nañ ne da nga bañ Jammeh.
Xoolal loolu rek. Look at the way we think.
It's not me, it's just the reports.
Wow.
Read the TRRC report, read the Jammeh Commission, read the international reports.
Exactly.
So man inventuma. Stuff like that.
So you don't have to hate someone to tell the truth. Man, issue bumade am with a lot of people is that, okay, so why critique someone, like, wala mo def lu wrong, and then you talk about it, you hate the person. It's not hatred. Lum def, lum la def. You don't have to hate Julde to say, ne Julde lum def ni it's wrong or it's right. When it's wrong, it's wrong. But when it's right also, well, Julde, what you've done, it's right. That, I think that is patriotism. That is nationalism. When something goes wrong, let's talk about it. When it goes right, let's also talk about it. It's as simple as that.
I never reach for patriotism. Just good old-fashioned good manners.
Exactly.
Patriotism, all these high-sounding terms. I don't need any of that at all.
Exactly.
Just the homely concepts of honesty, hard work. You sell your see through a storm.
Yeah.
Then you'll be proper.
Right.
It's really
so let's go to beyond our borders. President fight to call referendum on constitutional reform limiting his powers. Limiting his powers or power?
Mane, they were chaos. We want more assembly. Wow. After Pastef send deputy one in it. There are certain things you hamne. Point out. Especially one presidency bitam dolem. You understand? Ak kom bi ak yu demek noonu. So lolu nak ene na mixed feelings yu bari digante ñaari party presidency bi comme Jomai coalition bi ak Pastef. So there was really chaos. At some point gis naa ne am na kuñ doon xëcc sa ñu génne ko ci podium bi.
Divorce bi dina saf.
Bi dina humba ko.
No, divorce bi saf na ba pare.
Téeméeri yomba ci benn tubé.
Nga family.
Xanaa Jomaay am na doole pour dissolve assembly bi.
Possibly by decree.
I think it's after 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's after 2 years. I read something like that.
But can we do that, Mudaha Sonko?
No, not as president of the parliament.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
But member of parliament.
Maybe members of parliament.
Wow, dina daha president.
So, yangi am two heads. Something will have to give sooner or later. I do not know which one.
Senegal, their situation is very critical. Because mungi mel ni ñom ñaari leader lañ am.
That's what I'm talking about. The seems that I've got two
Kale mungi am the ceremonial name as president. Waaye mungi mel ni ñu bari tam ñu ngi recognize Sonko moom mooy president.
President Ousmane Sonko.
Gis lo fu mu nekk president, isn't it, of the parliament. That's a very powerful position. Hanga. So, the State House and the Parliament, they are at loggerheads. But the Pastef new upper food, and possibly or most of them perhaps are loyal to Sonko. That's my suspicion, but not to Faye.
Right.
So this is really a family feud as it were. Maybe it didn't start. I do not know where it is going.
Why we are very soon we'll enter the elections of Senegal. I mean, in few years, in 3 years, you know, dañoo def elections. You know, probably dinañ gis bu nekkee ne still people want fight to remain as president, or they still want to bring in Sonko. Yep, dinañ ko gis.
There is a report about this on France 24. It says Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye will call for a referendum on a proposed constitutional amendment that will strengthen the power of Parliament and the Prime Minister. The country's Justice Minister said on Monday the country's National Assembly overwhelmingly backed the reform in a vote earlier in the day that saw roughly 50 opposition protesters attempt to storm the building. So, yes.
So now for you, referendum for the people to decide.
Yep.
Woof.
So for the sacking of Ousmane Sonko was necessary, Mr. Mbodj?
Yes, mënatuñoo liggéey.
I don't understand.
Dañ am reform agenda.
Wow.
Sonko mu ngi feel ne fay demut fast enough.
Dafa betray the cause.
Mu ngi betray, mu ngi stall or mu ngi derail ak yu mel noonu. Waaye nag gis nga boo demee ba nekk president. Then nga soog a really xam the realities of power. In opposition bu Sonko moom mu nekkoon president, I wonder ndax li moo wax ni dina push. Because there will be a pushback. For instance, with the sovereignty issue.
Right.
Bugguñ outside help, ñu ngi génnee the French. Bassirou Diomaye Faye demoon na France, guys signed something.
Yeah.
Waaye Sonko moomu tam dem na Turkey, signed for something. So it is not about external partnerships, but fun. You see, ñu ñëpp fii Africa yëpp ñu ngeen ne sovereignty that daxanañ français bëgguñ leen fi li waaye yet soo paree dem nga Turkey, dem nga Russia, dem nga China, soxla nga keneen. So you don't want that master, you want a different master.
So at this point we will draw the curtain here.
I don't want this master.
We are taking a leave of you, Mr. Mbodj.
Fii la ñoo boxoñee rido bi.
We are taking a leave of you. We are saying bye-bye.
So thank you.
Go and have fun with your African News Roundup.
Mr. Mbodj, sa dala is nice.
Drive time.
Don't make dala. Mr. Mbodj, I want these shoes. Leave one size, la?
42?
No, I'm 45. Right, yeah, so don't worry. It's
Tay
not
na
mine.
ako ko sarah dala da why daf distance dala you nice.
Yeah, so viewers, this is all we have for the newspaper review. We'll be back. The break. Now let's head to the other segment of this program, and Inaugural Justice and Legal Immersion Fellowship Cohort. We have Honorable Dr. Satang Nabane, right? Global Human Rights Scholar, and Khutum Dabo.
A fellow.
Yes, ladies, it's good to have you people here. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
How are you doing, Honorable?
I'm good, I'm well, thank you. And thank you for having us.
Yes, it's good to have you here. Please tell us about this cohort, please.
Sure, yeah. So this fellowship, which is the Young Women's Justice and Legal Immersion, we're calling it the Jali Fellowship, is part of my own personal and professional journey. So as you mentioned, you called me honorable, but probably people don't know why. Recently,
I wanted to ask why. Because you combine both honorable and doctor together.
Yeah, I mean the doctor, I have
Powerful
two PhDs,
woman.
but I should have written doctor. But anyway, no, earlier this year in February, I had the privilege of being elected as an elected member of the African Union, as a member of the African Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. This is the first time that a Gambian and the youngest is actually on the committee.
Congratulations.
And we focus on promoting and protecting the rights of children across
So
the
how come we
country.
didn't know? We should celebrate you.
Yes,
Come on. We should celebrate our people. Man, Gambia.
That's powerful.
We are proud of you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
And the fellowship itself, last year in 2025, I was privileged to be awarded the Women Have Wings award, which is a global award that recognizes women across the world with regard to the work that they do. And so as part of that, I was very interested in not only giving back, but really in terms of creating a space to mentor the next generation of young leaders. Again, this is nothing new. I'm the co-founder of Think Young Women back in 2010, and our focus have always been to empower the next generation of young women, as well as Law Hub Gambia. And so what Jali really is about, and I think what makes it really unique, and we have Umu here, what makes it really unique is that it's a one-week immersion. Immersion means that it's not just coming and sitting in the conference room and doing trainings, you know, the usual. However, this time around, we're able to include what we're doing with the institutional visit. So for instance, we have been very lucky to be able to partner with the Judiciary, Ministry of Justice, National Assembly, the Gambia Bar Association, FLAG, National Human Rights Commission, and others. And so throughout the week, the fellows will be visiting. So we'll be doing the live court observation, for instance. I know you were talking about some of the things coming out of the court, right? So they'll be able to do those observations, also able to engage with the seasoned leaders. And we're not just talking about just lawyers, right? Because when we talk about women in law, it means people on the bench, people in the bar, as well as those like myself who are also in academia as well. And Jali itself is unique as well in a sense that the fellows themselves, with 12 fellows, are actually multi-generational as well. So we have the high school students for the first time as part of the fellowship, but then we also have students from the university, as well as students that are currently in the Gambia Bar School as well. So the idea is that we have the seasoned leaders and the legal professionals mentor, but also there is also mentorship as well within the cohort, because I do think, especially within the current climate, that we do need to invest more time in empowering our young people.
Right. So how do these young people, how do they go about, you know, how do they become members of this fellowship?
Yeah. So it was an open call. So and also to say the fellows that we have, especially the high school students, we have five high school students from around the country. So Umufa is from Soma. She'll talk about her own process to get in here. But we also have other students as well that are part of the Girls Up Club from Think Young Women. Again, that is really focused around girls mentorship because it's key. I think, you know, to some reference to your earlier conversation as well, catching them early is quite important. I am a good example of what that means. I started as a child right activist when I was 8 years old at the Banjo Red Cross Society, and activism and being in civil society have been what led me to where I am today. So I think it is really important in that process. And so for the university students, we did an open application process as well. And I mean, it was incredible. We opened it for a short period of time, and we had over 60 university law students applying. So this also shows that there is need for mentorship. Again, mentorship is key. You can go into the classroom. I mean, but my own experience is that learning doesn't stop in the four corners of the classroom. Like, you really need to be out there in the community, engaging with the professionals, engaging in real life scenarios and situations to be able to perhaps be your best self.
Before we engage Ummu, I'm just interested. You said 60 people applied.
Yeah.
But eventually you took
4.
only 12. What happened?
Yes. No, so the 60 that apply were only university students.
Okay.
Yeah, and we only had 4 spots. Yes, I know, it's incredible. Yes, and then we did a short listing, we did the interview process. I mean, part of it is, it was also very intentional in terms of designing it. Because mentorship also takes time. The idea is this is not a once-off that we're bringing together 12 people to just come, sit, and know each other, right? There is a whole continuous process over the next 1 year where among the fellows themselves, they provide mentorship for each other. But then outside of that as well, we'll have mentors supporting. So this is a pilot, who knows? I mean, it might get bigger. It might get bigger. I know part of the question as well that I have received is, why young women? Right. So this is a pilot. It's also attached to the award. And I mean, you know, not hiding, I am, you know, young women and girls are important in centering as well. Lolu tahut mane khale gori are not important, right? So what that also means that as we design this fellowship, that it's designed in a way that we could also eventually in the future also do the mix or focus on
let's engage
Ummu.
Ummu.
What motivated you to apply for this fellowship, and what do you hope to see change as far as women leadership is concerned?
First of all, I will, it's a great honor to come here and talk about this fellowship. I'm so grateful.
We are happy to receive you.
You're welcome. I would like to see changes as time goes on, because we the young girls, we are gonna be the leaders of tomorrow.
Right.
So it's good that they are motivating us and they are nurturing us in a way that it's very good. I will say Alhamdulillah and thanks to our Madam Dr. Satang Nabani.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but what inspired you to apply for this fellowship?
Yeah, I was inspired by Aishatu Jallo.
Okay.
Yeah. First, before we come here, we went for a training at our school.
Okay.
And the things they said, like they said some things that I have never known in my life.
Okay.
And I was curious. And after that, the school chose 2 of us and to come here and represent the school.
Okay.
And yesterday also we did a training. It was very successful.
Okay.
And Alhamdulillah, they're mentoring us in a way that I would thank them so much, and I would like these kinds of programs to come on our ways.
More often.
Yeah.
So what are some of the issues affecting young girls and even boys in your community?
Some of the issues affecting us, the young girls, is like teenage pregnancy and prostitution. Prostitution in a way that, you know, as a girl, you cannot sit and fold your hand if you see your family is suffering, either financially or you just go, you'll take every means just to put food on the table. And you cannot sit, fold your hand and see your siblings, your parents suffering like that. So that will lead some to prostitution. And in that, they will get pregnant while they are just teenagers.
Teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
All
Wow,
right.
that's serious.
So what, doctor, what gain the participants are going to get at the end of the training?
Yeah. So I hope many things, but I hope they come away with the recognition that they themselves have power, because I think it's important. I mean, you guys were talking about the demographic dividend across the continent, and Gambia is one good example that majority of our population is actually young people below the age of 25, right? So I think it is being able to show young people not just the challenges that we face, but about the possibilities of what they can do with their lives and change their own societies. That Umu, as well as the others, don't need to depend on the rest of us coming from Banjul or Kombo and go to Soma to go solve their problems, right? They themselves can solve
their
right. So I think that's one, but I think also, part of what we're hoping that they also get as well is the examples of women that have made it. Again, there are many women across so many and all the sectors within the country that are able to show that they can break the glass ceiling. Again, we live in a society where we have the laws on paper. Usually it's not enforced or implemented given the many challenges, but also the sort of culture, certain cultures that we also experience as well, limits women's vision of what they can be in the future. So again, just being able to share my experience and my journey with Umu. I don't come from a rich family. I mean, my parents believed in the power of education, and that's how I ended up here. And crazy me went ahead and got 2 PhDs. Nobody should do that, right? But it just shows the power that education can have, but also the power of examples. Again, the more mentors we have, the more we're able to show young women as well as girls that women in this space can make it and are making it in ways that supports our nation, that supports our community as well. Again, we can talk about all the other things where they know the knowledge, they know the laws and the policies as well as others. I mean, those are all things that they will gain out of that. But I think for me, it's the power of being able to hope as well as being able to take charge of their future.
So, Doctor, you often speak about justice beyond the courtroom. And what does justice look like for ordinary Gambian currently?
Yeah, that's a big question. Yeah, I mean, what does justice look like for ordinary Gambians? Again, the courtroom is important, I mean, part of what we're doing even with this fellowship, but overall my own work as well,
Yeah.
which touches on many different things as well, shows that women, as well as other marginalized groups, including, you know, people with disabilities, as well as other groups, continue to face challenges with regard to access to justice, right? Again, you know, perhaps not to start a debate, but we know that we're all anticipating the outcome of the FGM case before the Supreme Court, right?
Yes.
It is a good example of, you know, when people think people have won rights, that in essence, we can also have attempts at rolling back on those rights as well, right? So access to justice, again, and that is also one of the reasons why we're engaging with FLAG, we're engaging with the Gambia Bar Association to show that people who cannot, for instance, afford the cost of paying for a lawyer, especially, can go to these spaces to be supported as well. But I think at the community level and outside of the courtroom as well, I think justice means one thing in terms of, it can mean many things, but one of the things that it can mean is at least somebody knowing what their rights are, and when those rights are violated, how they can remedy those rights. That's one. But also, justice also means being able to have the power to be part of making decisions in your own community.
Right.
Again, you know, as people in academia, myself, we're boring people, so we tend to use all these big words and all of that stuff, right? And that's not the point, right? The point is really, when we think about justice, is how people are, and this doesn't have to be at the national level. I mean, again, representation matters. Women need to be in the National Assembly, we need to be in the courts, we need to be in government. However, even in our small spaces, you know, in our communities, in our schools, in our universities, in our workplaces, it has been able to have the voice, to be able to be part of the decision-making power as well.
So let's talk about how society views certain things.
Sure.
I mean, I understand when you talk about, okay, girls' empowerment, you know, girls' rights, we want them to be able to stand for themselves. But there are people in the society, especially where they're from, say from Jara Soma, right?
Yeah.
There are people who doesn't believe that. You know, we have people that have religious beliefs. We have people that have traditional beliefs.
Cultural beliefs.
Cultural beliefs. So how do you think this is going to work side by side with tradition and culture, you know, put together with religion as well?
Yeah, no, I think one, I'll start with saying that when we talk about rights, right, generally, and I know rights sometimes seems like a disconnect to people, but we know if you break it down to the basic, you have a right to education, you have a right to food, you have a right to life, right? You guys were talking about the case with the mother trial as well. So those are all examples of right. And even rights also include your right to religion and culture, right? Again, I acknowledge Gambia, but almost every other society in Africa, but also beyond that as well, that in certain cultures that are cultural and traditional beliefs, and in certain ways, the way that we interpret our religious texts, right, of course, disadvantages women. Again, if I am, you know, I am not a Muslim scholar, right? But we understand how Islam itself,
You
right?
see, I was listening, I just wanted to hear what you just said
Sure.
there, how we interpret.
It's
You
a
see,
problem. It's a problem.
Islam gave women a huge right.
Right, correct.
You understand?
Yeah, that was where I was going
Right to many things in Islam. You understand? But I think from the way we interpret it, from one individual to another, that is the problem. Because even me, sometimes I looked at other things and I said, oh no, this is not Islam. Islam did not teach us this. You know, so Islam gave women, in fact, more right than even you can think about.
So the issue of interpretation then, and I mean, this is Gambian society. We also tend to, even some of our, you know, cultures and ways of living, right, and ways of knowing, we tend to then absorb that and make it into, oh, this is religion, right? I mean, we know that. But I think the fact of the matter as well is, even as we think about culture, culture is not static. It's not like the culture came in 1965 and that's how we practice the culture. Culture itself evolves with the people. I mean, again, we live in societies now with the explosion of technologies. Everybody is connected to their phones. We're able to talk to people across the world. It's a global village. That also means that it influences our culture in many different ways. Most people now have access to education that influences how we practice and how we believe in our own ways as well. And so to the core, again, I you know, when talking about gender equality and girls' empowerment, I think the recognition as well is that the empowerment of girls and the rights of women and girls should not be, right, sacrificed for the purpose of people's cultural beliefs as well. So when you have, and that has been a major part of my work, what we call balancing of rights, right? So you have one right here on the left hand and another right. How do you balance the two rights in a way that if somebody says this is my right to culture, how do you ensure that that's not impacting the other person's right to life or their access to healthcare or their access to education, for instance. So again, you know, people will say, oh, rights is a Western import. Yes, we took it from the West. Again, when you go back to our history, to our culture, to our religion, we know that even if we don't use the word rights, the rights language, that we have had those recognition, because rights is about recognizing that somebody is a human being and what they deserve to live a life of dignity. So if we are able to reframe that in ways that speaks to the people, again, I also recognize the sort of tension as well, especially in our language. As I indicated, you know, you have the folks in academia, in legal, using certain language that doesn't easily translate at the community level. And that is where also the work is needed as well, in terms of how we ensure that we're using the language that people understand, we're using the language that people can, you know, feel a connection with, but also showcase that this is deeply rooted in terms of what we are as Gambians, who we are as Gambians, who we are as Africans, but at the end of the day, who we are as human beings as well.
So, Umu, what do you hope to achieve at the end of this fellowship in making you the better version of yourself? And what are some of the stereotypes or discriminatory things that are happening in your society that you want to challenge or champion?
Like, I hope to become like Dr. Satang in the future.
Mashallah. That's a big ambition there.
She'll be more than me. And some of the discriminations in our society is, you see, like, they will tell girl child that you are not meant to go to school because we will spending our money on you. At the end of the day, you go get married. You cannot be able to further your education. Like, they will prioritize the education of boys.
You still have that in your community
like,
at this day and age?
Yeah, it's there. I think that's what I observe. And during girls going to school, they will get them married, even though they don't like it. They will just get them married, and their education will be stopped.
So how are you going to shape or change that you know, perception?
I think we should go in for sensitization to sensitize parents that are trying to do that to their children. Because if the child wants to stand up for themselves, they'll be like, who do you think you are? You don't have a say in here. Like me, if I want to tell the parent, me alone, if I want to say it, they will say, think of yourself before you will venture into someone's matter. Like, you don't have a say in here.
Yeah, I heard of a young girl married these days. I mean, she was going to junior school, in fact.
It has come to a point that...
I was shocked when I heard about that. Even my wife was telling, wow, that girl is too small to get married. Yeah, but I mean, that is what it is.
It has come to a point that we, the girls, that we just see it as it's normal. Yeah, it's good for us. Well, whereas it's not good.
Yeah.
It happens a lot in your community.
Yeah, some will drop out from grade 11, some 9. They will get married. If they start having family, like, they will just stop going.
Are you scared that you are going to be a fall victim of such?
No, I don't think so, because the type of parents I have, they love education.
Mashallah, lucky you.
Yeah, so it depends on the
Doctor, how long will this fellowship last?
Yeah, so it's a at least together. Right now, we're together for a week, so it goes up to Friday. So today we have the visits to the Gambia Bar Association to flag. Tomorrow we'll be in Banjul, so we'll do the court observation. We'll also engage with the Office of the Chief Justice, as well as Ministry of Justice and National Assembly. Thursday, we'll engage with the National Human Rights Commission and the Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa. And then we wrap up on Friday. But what is really cool about Friday as well, we'll be having a fireside chat. There's not going to be a fire, but it will be a fireside chat. And the idea is...
Where is that going to be?
It's going to be at Spice Hub at Alliance France.
Wow.
Yes. So the idea is of the fireside chat is to be able to have this really open, honest, interactive dialogue between, we have folks like Justice Ngom, who sits on an international tribunal for the UN. We have Ida from the Ministry of Justice. We have we have Nene, who's the president of Gambia Bar Association as well, who will be in dialogue with the fellows in terms of a conversation. And then we'll also have other institutions like UNICEF as well as others also participating. So that's sort of like the big wrap up. But again, as I said, this is not a one-time, one-week event. The idea is that this is a year-long fellowship in which then we will be continuously providing the mentorship that is needed as well as the support. One of the biggest asks of the fellows is that when they also go back to their communities, they will have at least one project that they will be implementing of their choosing in their various communities. So that way as well, that they pass the information to the next group of girls as well as also take charge of their future in their own communities.
In that case, Umu, do you already have a project in mind?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I will.
I think the project should be ending child marriage.
I will.
That is so rampant in your community.
Yeah. And how to avoid teenage pregnancy. Also.
Exactly.
All right, so
we have
ladies,
a long way to go, but collectively, I'm sure we will change the narrative.
Yes,
I know.
absolutely. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep pushing. Let's all fight. We shouldn't just allow the women to fight it alone, but we should be behind to help you push.
Right.
I
so
mean,
don't leave men behind.
We need boys and men
to
fight.
So. Yes, please don't leave us behind. We want to support you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is what we have. We'll go for a short break. After the break, the program continues. Yeah, so we are back. This is QTV this morning. Now let's move on to sports update. Mr. Adedrame is here.
I'm here indeed.
Bafana, they are all back. They are stealing our jobs.
Go back to your country.
Go back to your country.
They have gone.
So they are gone back.
They've gone back.
Yeah.
It's strange. A friend of mine wrote this very, very long essay on Facebook about, how bad this is. He wasn't kind of either for or against it. He said it was a bit of an embarrassment that, Africans were turning against an African team. And, he kind of understood the context of where we are. And in case anybody's been living on Mars, today, 30th of June, is when these kind of self-appointed vigilantes in South Africa have given all undocumented migrants a deadline to leave. And the government of South Africa seemed pretty helpless about it.
Exactly.
So this lame statement from
President
Ramaphosa saying that, yes, the right to protest is enshrined in their constitution, but they hope people will protest peacefully. Well, we know they won't, because we've seen what they've been doing. They've killed people who they deem to be there illegally, and they seem unwilling or unable to stop them. So that's the context. So because of that now, pretty much most of Africa turned against the most visible South African symbol that we could see, and that was their team at the World Cup. Yeah. And myself included. I said, I felt kind of conflicted, because before the World Cup and before all this xenophobia had kind of reached the heights that it has, on this very platform, I'd said that I thought the South African team played some of the best football of any of the African teams that had qualified. We have 10 teams, or we had 10 teams. And so I wanted to see them go far. But when this stuff happened, I thought, yeah, you know, this is something where a lot of these xenophobic people will be supporting their team and will hope that they go far.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, they've reached the end of the road. It's ironic because they were the better side, and yet they lost. But you know, football can be like that.
Yeah.
You can play well and you can lose. They played a very negative game against Canada, and they seemed to want to, because they know they've got a good goalkeeper, I think they were hoping it would go to extra time and penalties. Obviously, the Canadians hadn't read that particular memo, so scored late in the game to knock them out. So they're heading back home.
So yesterday, Brazil won the game too.
Eventually, against Japan.
After a penalty shootout.
No, they won 2-1. It didn't go to penalties.
Oh, they didn't go to penalty.
Didn't go to penalties. Martinelli got the winner, Arsenal player. Casemiro, who's just finished this season with Manchester United and announced that he's leaving, had a dreadful game in the first half. And I was thinking, and the TV I was watching, I think BBC or ITV in the UK, they were saying that surely the coach is not going to bring him out for the second half. You know, he's been exposed, and he's played 3 games where he's looked pretty bad, you know, much as I like him. And of course, football being football, he ended up scoring the equalizer. The man that everybody, myself included, was saying should have been taken off. So obviously the coach knew what he was doing, and then he made some interesting substitutions. You know, Carlo Ancelotti. So he's an Italian guy who's currently the coach of Brazil. I think he's the first non-Brazilian to coach the national side. And a very well-known manager, won 5 Champions League when he was at Real Madrid. You know, went to Chelsea, won the league there. So he's very well, one of the most decorated managers, and everybody knows him as something of a tactician. So yeah, Japan played really well, and they were crying, you know, falling on the floor at the end, because they were hoping maybe it would have gone to penalties, as you said, but it didn't. And yeah, they went out. But the big shock yesterday was Paraguay beating Germany. We kind of know Germany as this big football team, but really, if you look at their record over the last 4 World Cups, this one included, they've not done very well. Gone out at the first round, gone out at the group stage. So, you know, their reputation, the
So were they once champions of the World Cup?
4 times
Four
they've won
times.
the World Cup.
I think
Only
that
Brazil have won it more.
When Oliver Kahn was the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper, yeah.
Yes.
And the interesting thing was that in the World Cup, they had never lost a penalty shootout. They'd had been involved in 4, and they'd won all 4. And even again, when I was watching the TV, the commentators were joking. Has anybody told Paraguay that Germany have never lost a World Cup shootout? And the guy who was sitting next to the commentator said, well, you know, there's a first time for everything. And he was right. There was a first time for everything. Jonathan Tah, defender for Germany, who had, again, pretty dreadful game. His penalty kick was the worst. He blazed it over the bar and high into the stands. The keeper didn't have to touch it. Couple hit the post, one was saved, and they lost 4-3 on penalties. To the shock. Again, some of the players could not be consoled. They were sobbing like.
So Germany is gone home.
They're gone home. I mean, this is knockout stage. You lose, you go. There's no.
So Senegal, what is their fate? Senegal seems to have a narrow escape.
They had a narrow escape, and they are still in it. And so they're coming up. So of the 10 African teams, only 2 have been sent packing. That's South Africa and Tunisia. Tunisia didn't even make it through. So we had this amazing scenario where.
So now it's the round of 16, right?
No, still in the round of 32.
32.
You win, so Brazil gone through. But before we jump to that, there's a game we haven't mentioned, and that was the big one which I was watching till 4:10 this morning. And that was Morocco against the Netherlands.
Wow.
And that one went to penalties.
And Morocco won. Right?
Morocco won. On
Wow.
Yeah,
penalties.
that's the one I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, Morocco
Yeah,
won.
by penalties, right?
Yeah, but some of the people who you would expect to score missed, including Hakimi. Hakimi missed his penalty.
Wow, what
hit
happened?
it's, penalties. And a friend of mine, I hope he was watching, because he and I had this argument. He was telling me that good players don't miss penalties. So I gave him a list of famous and, in many instances, the best player in the team being the one who missed a penalty, a crucial penalty. Most famously, probably Roberto Baggio, where 1994 World Cup, he was ready to be crowned player of the tournament, and he missed the penalty that gave Brazil the trophy. So it's not about whether you're good or not. It's a lottery, penalties. Sometimes you score, sometimes you don't. As Hakimi was stepping up to take it, the commentators would say, "Oh, this man never misses." It's like they put the bad luck on him, and he missed. But they played really well, and the Netherlands scored first through Cody Gakpo, who plays for Liverpool. He got the opening goal for the Netherlands, and but Morocco then kind of woke up and took the game to the Netherlands big time. I mean, they pushed them back. And if you saw the statistics, it was shocking. At halftime, it was 50-50. In the second half, it was 80% to Morocco, to 20% to Netherlands. I mean, that's how much of the ball they had. But it took until the 90th minute before they could equalize. Saibari got the equalizer, and suddenly it was game on. They went into extra time, still nobody could score. Until
Is Cape Verde in or out?
I'll start again.
They're still in.
There are 10 African teams and only 2 have gone home, Tunisia and South Africa.
Okay.
That tells you Cape Verde is still in
I
it.
wanted to tease you here. I wanted to know whether.
Well, no, but Cape Verde, it's as if they keep throwing more and more difficult fixtures their way. So first of all, they were put in a group where they were the lowest ranked team, and they managed to get out of it.
Okay.
With Spain, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia. They managed to get out of that group. Now they're going to face Argentina. Messi's been on fire, so he's not the man you want to chase. But there is a story which we can't kind of gloss over, and it's quite a serious one. The longest serving player in the team, the captain of Cabo Verde, Rian Mendes, has just been accused of rape.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Rape?
This guy, trust me, there were people crying in Cabo Verde. I mean, he hasn't been charged yet. Just the accusation has been made and is being investigated. A woman said that she was an interpreter for the team, and she gave quite graphic and posted some pictures. She said,
Yeah, I saw that.
bite marks and so on. So that has kind of really overshadowed it, because for many people this has been the kind of romantic story of the World Cup, smallest nation to get into knockout phase, one of the smallest nations. Second or third smallest to ever qualify for the World Cup. This is their first World Cup.
Yeah.
They ended undefeated in their group. So, it was quite a kind of positive story, and then it's now been clouded over by this. So they're not even sure whether, because of all the press, that Rian Mendes is going to play in that game against Argentina, which will be, quite devastating for Cape Verde, because he's very much the leader of the team. He's a hero. He's idolized in Cape Verde. I've said it many times. You go around the islands and they use him for all sorts of adverts. You'll see his picture there. So it's hit them quite hard, the allegation. It's a serious allegation. So but back to the football. So they're in it. Ivory Coast are in it. Ghana are in it. And we hope, so the first of the ones who came to kind of face the tests have been obviously, Morocco and South Africa got through to the round of 32. Well, South Africa have gone out, but Morocco have gone through to the round of 16. So we hope the other Africans, it would be great if we get 5, 6 or whatever. And so there was an article in the BBC yesterday saying 10 African teams entered the World Cup. 9 of them made it through to the round of 32. What is wrong with football in Asia, that they can't even get teams, not even to the World Cup, never mind get through to the round of 32. I think the biggest surprise for many would be South Korea, but they built quite a good reputation as a footballing nation over the last 10, 20 years, and they didn't even make it through to the round of 32. They were eliminated in the group stage. So yeah.
Sometimes football can be funny. You cannot predict what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Strong teams like Nigeria, I mean, they are not at the World Cup. They didn't qualify.
Cameroon did not qualify.
Cameroon, Atiku Abubakar. Look at that. I mean, they are not qualified. So football is unpredictable.
It's unpredictable, and we know, of course, Cabo Verde are the ones who finished above Cameroon in that particular one, but also a big game. They're all big games now, but the ones that have seemed to have attracted all the attention seem to be the likes of DR Congo. They'll be playing England next. And, you know, this is a team that didn't qualify straight off. They had to go through a playoff against the likes of Nigeria, and then another playoff where they defeated Jamaica to make it to the World Cup. You know, so theirs has been quite a journey.
Thank you.
They played more games than anybody.
So we've exhausted this time already.
What? Already?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mboj.
Did you guys mention the floods in Accra in Ghana?
Oh no.
Very serious.
Oh,
very
serious.
I've
And
seen
the minister had to
images.
come and tell people to stay home
Yeah,
if
but
they are
it's
not
serious.
out
In
yet.
fact, at some point, people are going on their roofs.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they are
So
building.
people climb on the roofs. There's
Yes.
one I just downloaded before I came on. People were sitting on their perimeter wall,
Yes.
concrete wall
I
around
saw
the
that
house.
on their cars.
And everywhere else was flooded, and
Yeah.
cars were floating
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Really terrible.
So thank you very much. This is all we have. We'll be
Oh.
back here tomorrow, Wednesday. Know that Imam Usman Jah will return tomorrow for Islamic Perspective. Until then, bye-bye.